Welcome to the Kare For Kūpuna Podcast, where we dive into health, wellness, and vibrant living of our cherished kupunas. We are thrilled to take you on a journey exploring everything from health and wellness tips, deeply rooted in the spirit of Hawaii, to navigating the intricacies of retirement, preserving our rich culture heritage, and fostering vibrant communities for our elders.
Whether you're a kupuna yourself, a family member, a dedicated caregiver, or simply someone passionate about supporting and uplifting our elders, this podcast is for you. Each episode is crafted with love and the intention to inspire, inform, and celebrate the golden years. So sit back, relax, and join us on this meaningful journey as we care for our kupuna.
Welcome to this week's episode of Kare For Kūpuna, where we care for our kupuna. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Trina.
And we are your Kupuna Care Girls. This week's episode of Kare For Kūpuna, we're excited to introduce Ashley Min, the COO, and Karen Clay, Care Manager of Lifespan Hawaii. Aloha, Ashley and Karen. Thank you for joining us today, and so honored to have you on our podcast.
Aloha. Aloha. Thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah, we were excited. Okay, so we have a few questions. We want to get to know you and the agency as a whole. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the aging care industry.
Okay, so this is Ashley, and I am the Chief Operating Officer for Lifespan and Lifespan Hawaii. Lifespan was founded in 1983 by two nurses, and it was independently owned and operated up until 2019, when it was acquired by somebody who had personal relations with the owners and myself. I'd worked with him for a long time prior to the acquisition, but I asked him in 2018, would it be okay if I started working remotely and on the Big Island so I could come home and be closer to family and have my kids closer to grandparents? That was a big drawback. But as soon as I got here, I realized that there was a great need for home care services in North Hawaii. And the discharge nurses and staff at the hospital were constantly, just through relations, telling me, please bring Lifespan services to our island. We are discharging people home from the hospital or after surgeries, and they don't have anyone to care for them. So COVID hit and things were paused for a little bit, but with a lot of tenacity and grit, we went through the licensing process, me and the Lifespan team, some of the administrators at our Santa Cruz, California location. And as of January of this year, we started our first case and employed our first set of caregivers. And I brought Karen on I think in February as a care manager, and as a gerontological specialist, she is perfect for the role. And so here we are. We have a great team of caregivers and Karen and a couple other administrative staff, and we are really hustling out there to try to meet the needs of this island.
Oh, thank you. Yes. And I know you touched on it a little bit, but please share how Lifespan Hawaii came to a home care agency on the Big Island.
So in recognizing that the kupuna on this island needed home care services, I started researching and reaching out to other home care agencies, most of which were on Oahu and had established themselves. And just started dreaming, honestly, just started creating a vision for Lifespan Hawaii. And we were up against hard challenges, given licensing in the state of Hawaii is not easy. But we persevered and we built this small little business, and it is the first home care agency in North Hawaii, licensed home care agency in North Hawaii. So the Waimea, Kohala, Honoka'a areas are happy to see us helping their kupuna.
Oh, congratulations for being the first. I know there's other agencies and other organizations on island. What specific services and programs that Lifespan Hawaii offers that makes it stick out or stand out from other agencies?
Good question. So it begins with our caregivers. We are a very employee-focused company, and we recruit strong, skilled, reliable, trained caregivers, and also offer them opportunities to learn more and essentially earn more through our Lifespan Works program. And that focuses on training and professional development, and just one-on-one mentoring with each of our caregivers and the caregivers together. So with the focus on our caregivers, then we can build these great relationships with our clients. And currently we offer 3 different services. Where most home care agencies just have home care in place, we also have an essentials program and a well-being program. The well-being program is social emotional, recreational therapy, so to speak, in terms of designing sessions that meet the needs of the client's whole person and not just the focus on the personal care and ADLs, more enjoyment based. So yeah, we've got a couple different programs, and that really sets us apart from other agencies who are just offering home care. We also have care management, and Karen is heading that with being an advocate and doing advocacy work for clients who are aging in place and may not have family here to help advocate for them. So she's attending doctor's appointments, talking to docs about meds and possible changes, doing regular check-ins with the client themselves and with the families, sometimes together, a lot of times apart, because now we have a pretty big population of people here that don't have family members. The kupuna's kids have moved to the mainland, or they may have a grandkid that's helping them, but we definitely focus on the social isolation piece and how we can bring services to them that's going to meet the needs of more, like I said, of more than just the personal care. So I'd say that's what makes us unique.
Oh, that sounds great. So what type of activities or programs do you want to highlight to keep the clients mentally, socially, and physically stimulated?
Well, I touched on this just a moment ago. So that would be our well-being program. It's almost as though our caregivers are a private activity director, and they create sessions or quote unquote dates with their kupuna and recognizing and executing what it is that will bring them joy. So, for example, we've had a fisherman who could no longer fish, but we have taken him to an area where he could be with fishermen who were fishing, and he could feel like he was a part of that. And again, it's so important to focus on our well-being and the well-being of our kupuna before we look at the ADLs, or the activities of daily living, the needs. We can help with baths and meal prep and house chores and all of that, but we also really want to make sure that this person is living the best life every day of their life, no matter their age. So our well-being program really helps with that.
Caregivers are a special group of people, and we do have caregivers who listen to our podcast. Do you have a client success story that you'd like to share? I'm sure that will inspire a lot of people.
I'd love to answer that. This is Karen. I'd like to share a little bit about my background so I can have a little validity to what I'm talking about. I studied gerontology at San Diego State, and I did an internship over at Kona Adult Day Center. Mm-hmm. And I found out that I could not leave this island. It was just so beautiful, and my heart was attached here. So I came over and I opened up an adult daycare center up here in Waimea. And then I also opened a care home next door to the day center. So for 22 years, I had my own business up here. And I just decided to close them this year. And that's in February when I joined Ashley. I knew her through us being in the aging industry. And I was one of her cheerleaders for opening up Lifespan, because we truly did need a licensed home care agency up here that I could actually refer people to, and then eventually now work at, which has been a wonderful full circle moment for me. And when they first got started, I was still running my care home, but we had our first client cared for by one of our first caregivers, Apani. And Apani wanted us to share her story. She has also gone on to go from caregiver to our communications liaison. Is that right, Ashley? Communications liaison?
Yeah, she's our community liaison and does all of our digital marketing. So we have a fantastic social media page, Instagram account specifically that she manages. So follow us.
Yeah.
And Apani is extremely talented and does a great job with that. And she's wonderful with people. And she was sharing her story about how our first client was a family that was visiting the islands, and they were faced with an unexpected crisis when the patriarch of the family fell and fractured his leg, which required surgery and hospitalization. So the whole family was deeply grateful that we were freshly here, because they were here right at Queens here in North Hawaii. And we were able to provide care and support for him. And it gave them that sense of peace during a turbulent time. So this gentleman had been living with dementia, and he has since passed. But in this time, he had these glimpses of memory that felt like gifts for Apani. So she said that it would offer hope and connection to the family that was uncertain of what would remain of who he was. So she would spend time with him sitting on the lanai, listening to the nene going by and talking about the rich history of his legacy. He was so trusting, so open in that intimate space. And she would gently wash his fragile frame, see the gratitude in his eyes. She said his gaze would soften, tears would well up as she sang to him, offering a quiet reassurance that everything was okay and that he was safe. He would open his eyes, meet hers, and whisper, "Thank you," over and over. And she said that this was a transformative experience for her, which truly deepened her understanding of the fragility of life. And his passing just weeks after returning home left a profound imprint on her as a reminder of how fleeting and precious our time truly is. And that's really what we are so honored to be a part of. The final years of someone's life they may be minimal as a matter of time, but the quality is the most profound. And we're so honored to be part of that. And now that the holidays are coming up, and I believe this is coming out right around the holidays, is that this is a wonderful time for people to start noticing if somebody is isolating themselves or if they're starting to need some help. Maybe check the refrigerator, see if the food is expired, things that the person might not say that they need help with, but that the family can recognize. So that's what our whole goal is to have moments like these where we can let their moments be precious and that we can help.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. That's such a beautiful story. Yes. And so how are home care services paid for?
Mahalo for joining us on this episode of Kare For Kūpuna, where we explore health, wellness, and vibrant living for our cherished kupunas. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights.
Remember, your support can make a difference. 20% of all proceeds from our podcasts go to a nonprofit organization here in Hawaii dedicated to helping seniors in our community. If you'd like to contribute, visit our website at www.careforkūpuna.com and make a donation.
Are you a brand or business looking to align with our mission? Consider sponsoring our podcast. Visit our website for more information on sponsorship opportunities.
For those with stories to share, we invite you to be a guest speaker on our podcast. Head over to our website to express your interest and become part of the conversation.
Last but not least, stay connected with us by subscribing to our email list and following us on social media at Kare For Kūpuna with a K. Join the Kare For Kūpuna community to stay updated on all things related to health, culture, and creating vibrant communities for our elders.
We appreciate your time and look forward to welcoming you back on the next episode of Kare For Kūpuna.